Hey guys, how's it going and welcome to the Mina channel, and today we're going to be talking about Persona 5 Royal, which just came out a little bit over a month ago. I finally finished the game, and this is my final review, non-spoilers for the game. So I am dressed for the part, I'm ready to go here, and let's go ahead and talk about this. If you've never seen one of my reviews, I will break down the game in different parts and then give you a score for each individual one, and let's go ahead and start with this. So overall, Persona 5 Royal just came out. We're going to start with the story here, and story is one of the elements that I was looking forward to the most when it came out to this game. Not only because I previously played the original Persona game, Persona 5, but because there was some additional stuff that was really interesting. So, on its own merits, Persona 5 is about these group of kids that get tangled in different situations because of the way that adults act, because they've been corrupted by these mysterious circumstances. Now you as a protagonist, as well as your friends, have to go into these hearts of these adults and kind of free them from these shackles of corruptions and all this different stuff, and you can make them good again, so to speak. And that is your mission basically throughout the entirety of the game. You get into different situations and you go into these palaces where you sneak around like a thief and you fight the evil between them, and you kind of just get that heart out, or the treasure in their heart, and make them good again. So you do that through all these different stages of the game up until the end game, and that pretty much the way that it simplifies the story here. Besides the story here, as far as the dungeoning elements and everything, there is another side of the story, which is basically getting to know these different characters and these interactions between each other and everything. All of them are very genuine, and you get to kind of get to know what they're all about. All of them are very different, and they have all these different circumstances that puts them in the place that they are. You get to help them in a different kind of way, and you get to influence their life. And I think that is kind of one of the best parts of Persona. It's not just the story itself, but the different interactions that you have with the different people. All of them are very, again, genuine, and you really kind of get a grip for what they're looking for and everything like that. And it does change the way that you perceive the story and the characters over time, because it does change and it makes you, they really grow on you. I really liked it a lot. Overall, the story, I don't think it is particularly new or special or anything like that. I do think that it's a little bit cliche in certain parts. It can touch base into the friendship, power moments and so on, but this is kind of part of the Persona charm and everything like that. I don't think, again, that the story is the strongest forte, but I do like the story. I looked at the characters and what they went for. I think that's really interesting. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about was also in the pacing of the story. I think the story has not a good pacing overall. I think that the first 10 hours of the game can be a little bit slow, then it starts picking up again, and then it gets slow again, and then it starts picking up again. And I think, I don't know if this is because of the social aspect of the story, or the pacing just doesn't handle well itself overall. Some of the stuff and situations that you get into can be kind of dumb and don't really make sense overall. I think that they are supposed to kind of make you scared and kind of like, oh, I have to do this with an urgency. But on the other hand, it doesn't really feel urgent at all, because you have so much time to do it that it kind of feels like you can leave it trained in there. Even though there is impending doom and it can be very urgent and important, you still have 20 days to do it. And I feel like that really drags down a little bit on the pacing. I don't know how they will fix this, but that's kind of something that I felt. So I will give the story an 8 out of 10. I think it's pretty good. Moving on, I want to talk about the characters themselves, because the characters themselves have something that I was really looking forward to whenever I first started playing the game. The previous Persona games have taught me that these characters get a lot of depth and a lot of links that you form between these characters. Special, it means something. So I was really looking forward to not just the main cast, but also all the different confidants that you make here and everything like that. Since this is a remake to original Persona 5, I was also interested in the new ones and additional ones that they did for everything. And overall, I wasn't disappointed with a lot of these characters. Most of these characters were actually revamped to some kind of extent. They made the interactions with the characters simpler as well. And I think that when you get to know these characters, it's not only very effective for combat, because some of them even give you additional skills in combat, but also make it so much interesting for you to look at and and see all these different characters have many motivations, many ways that you have impacted their life, but also the way that they have their lives before you met them. I think that's always important to kind of know the character before you were them, because that's where you kind of see where they're coming from and what the situation is like, what you can do better for them and everything like that. And this story just grows on you over time. All these different characters start getting connected to each other in some kind of way, and you kind of see the whole picture, and the characters really just grow on you over time. Some characters never really do for me, but overall most of the characters really do, especially some of the new characters. They have provided some additional depth to these characters that really I didn't really see coming. Some especially some returning characters that were fixed in this particular game really made it for me, so that I was really attached to them in some kind of way. I think that they really were able to kind of fix a lot of these social links, including some of them like Mishima. Mishima was on the characters that were kind of on the weaker side, and I think they kind of revamped his social link a little bit better on this one, and he was a little bit more interesting. Especially not my favorite character, but he kind of grew on me over time. I'm gonna give characters a 9 out of 10. I think this is a really good way that they were able to approach this, and now that they did the confidence, so that they are more than just confidence, but also kind of helpers in some kind of way, and you get some skills from them and everything. It's an excellent idea. I hope that they continue this on new Persona games. And my next point here is gonna be the gameplay. Now the gameplay is kind of the most important part of a game, right? It's kind of what makes a game a game. Otherwise, this will be just a visual novel where you just walk around to people and that's it. But besides the social element, Persona has the other element, which is the actual RPG element, where you go into different dungeons, in this case called palaces, and you go and fight these creatures called shadows, and you over time go and defeat these shadows in order to gain your purpose, in this case stealing the treasure from the palace. In all of these elements here, the Persona 5 has completely revamped that you play a dungeon, the way that you do turn-based RPG, and it made it in such a dynamic kind of way that I'm really impressed, because whenever I played original Persona 5 I was already pretty impressed, but I think this one really did add some additional stuff that really made it not only more streamlined but also very interesting and much concise. You can now have so many different other ways to do a battle, and to really you have to kind of like choose how you want to approach certain situations. For example, originally there are only weaknesses and you do this all-out attacks and that's it. But every single interaction of the games have kind of added a little bit more in the loop here. You can now do technicals, you can do criticals, you can do this baton pass, which really connect and really level up the way that you're doing the attack and everything. You can chain a bunch of those baton passes, you can do a bunch of different stuff, and all of those feels so dynamic, and it's such a good feeling when you are able to kind of connect the combos right and do the right things. And this game in some points really force you to kind of learn these tools for you to be able to move forward to the story and everything, because they want to teach you how to play the game and have all these different tools to your advantage and everything. But definitely I really like the hands-up approach that Atlus gives you in the game, where you can kind of choose the way that you want to approach it. But there's so many tools that you can do that I really appreciate, all the different ways that you can approach the battles. Definitely an improvement on turn-based RPG. I think that this game really did it right for me when it came to that. The palaces are many different kind of ways. Some of them can be more interesting than others. I think that the overall the majority of the palaces are very interesting. Some of them most of them are hard crafted, except for one, which is going to be Mementos. That one is randomized. Otherwise, the other palaces are kind of stale, the same, but all of them are really crafted in a way that it'll make sense thematic to the story, and I really like that a lot. I think that it's an interesting way to look at it and everything. Some palaces can be a little bit tiresome, especially throughout the ends of the game and everything, but if you know what you're doing, I think you're gonna be fine. I don't think there's any particular palace that I hated or anything like that. Some just drag on you and everything, but I think overall the gameplay is fantastic. I'm gonna give gameplay a 10 out of 10. I think that what was improved upon was even improved more in this game, and I think definitely made an experience for me. My last point is going to be performance. Performance includes things like the visuals of the game as well as the UI and music. And this game performed really well on the PS4 Pro, which is where I played it. I streamed the entire thing, so you guys can check that out. And I never experienced a single glitch or a hiccup in it. I think the game looked fantastic while I was streaming. I never had, again, any issues or anything like that. And I really like how much they were able to improve when it comes to the actual visuals of it. Because originally, the original Persona 5 was made for the PlayStation 3, so it was kind of ported to the PS4. But this edition, it looks a little bit more cleaner, and I really like that. I appreciate that a lot. The game overall looks fantastic. This is easily the best looking Persona game of all time. Definitely improves so much in so many different aspects that I can't even mention at all, but particularly to me, the UI is phenomenal. The UI is very dynamic. There's a lot of vibrant colors, and it just switches between different phases and everything. It's just so good looking, something really to look forward to whenever you're going out there shopping and everything like that. All these different shops move around, and they have all this stuff and everything, and I really like that a lot. All the personas and the shadows were completely worked in 3D. They look really clean, and I really like that because everything looks really the same, and I like when everything looks the same. I don't like when they have different some parts look good and some parts look terrible. Everything overall in this game looked fantastic. I really like that look and feel of the game. And the music, obviously the music is phenomenal. I always been a fan of the Atlus music. I think Atlus does really good music for a lot of the different games they have published. Soji Meguro, who works on this game, is an excellent musician, and you can see his work here once again. The new tracks added to Persona 5 Royal, as well as the old ones for Persona 5, are excellent. So you can clearly hear all the themes going throughout it. Every single time, every single song that plays is just excellent. It grabs you into the scene. It really pulls you into what you're pulling to and everything. And if you're looking for immersion, this game really has the right tracks for an immersive game because of the music, because of what you're going through. It really pulls you into that scene and everything, and I appreciate that a lot. Performance, everything, 10 out of 10 on there. I think that overall, really good looking game, really amazing soundtrack. I feel like every time that I go to my car and listen to his music, I'm like, God, this is such a good music. And that's it pretty much in this video here. I am gonna give the whole game a 9.5 out of 10. I think originally, if you add all these points, you're gonna do a 9.25 out of 10, but I'm just gonna run it up to a 9.5 out of 10. I think this is an excellent game. I originally gave Persona 5 a 10 out of 10, but I think that this time I was expecting some more improvements on story that weren't there, but that doesn't mean that this game is bad at all. A 9.5 out of 10 I think is an excellent score. Definitely did it for me in many different aspects. I think that this game was phenomenal when it comes to the story elements and the characters that you beat and everything, and I think that this is definitely a good step on the right direction for the next Persona game. I always kind of look forward to both what is coming next and what's come before to kind of see with this game, but also judging this game by its own merits, because I think in many different aspects it did have a lot of good stuff going for it, and I think this is an excellent game. If you haven't picked this game up, I definitely recommend you to pick it up if you're a fan of RPGs or anime or that kind of stuff. Definitely all the anime cutscenes are phenomenal again, and this is just an excellent game to pick up. I think that if you're right now not working or not studying or anything like that, it's a good time to get into Persona. Anyway, that is pretty much it for this video here, and if you're new, please consider liking and subscribing. Let me know in the comments below, what would you grade this game, and what do you think about this game? Do you like this game? Do you don't like this game? Let me know again, and that's it for today, guys. I'll see you guys next time.